Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Book of Boba Fett, a new Darth Maul series and more. Before we dive into it my friends, please may I ask you to hit that big red subscribe button down below if you've not done so already, and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time that I post a new video. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So what an incredible 24 hours we've had. We got the Book of Boba Fett trailer yesterday and we've also had quite a few updates over the last 24 hours. We're going to start with some additional details provided by scooper Jordan Mason. The Book of Boba is going to be 9 episodes long, unlike the regular 8 that every season of The Mandalorian has. If this is true, then we're going to be getting an extra episode for what is set to be an amazing finale. I should also mention that a lot of leakers have been saying that the trailer that we got is not representative of just how epic the show is going to be, and it's pretty likely the trailer we got only used footage of the first couple of episodes. That's not to say it wasn't impressive, it absolutely was, and I loved every second of it. But we know, just like for The Mandalorian Season 2, Lucasfilm are saving a few surprises for when the show drops. The trailer was just a taste of what's to come, but their sources are claiming 9 episodes. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So now my dear Megalorians, let's move on to our next topic. According to Cinelinx, Darth Maul is getting his own animated spin-off series titled Crimson Dawn. This is something that Clone Wars and Rebels fans have been wanting for years, and it's finally coming to fruition. Cinelinx also mentioned that this is something Lucasfilm might announce on November 12th during Disney Plus Day, but there are no guarantees. Now evidently this is really exciting, but my only issue is that it's animated. I love the Clone Wars and Rebels, but I feel like we need more live action Maul, and of course Kira and the rest of Crimson Dawn. We've had so much Maul in Rebels and the Clone Wars that I think it's time to bring Ray Park back into the picture. Having said that, he might make an appearance in Obi-Wan Kenobi, but if you're going to dedicate an entire series to Maul, it's got to be live action. But that's just my opinion. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments down below. But let's see what Cinelinx had to say in their exclusive breaking news. New Star Wars animated series to focus on Darth Maul's shenanigans. Exclusive. According to multiple sources, it looks like a new Star Wars animated series is already in the works that could fill in some Crimson Dawn / Darth Maul gaps. I know we're all still recovering from the Book of Boba Fett trailer, but had some information come in I thought would be worth discussing. About a month ago, I heard from a source that voice recording was underway for a new, as yet unannounced Star Wars animated series. This, alongside a second source, informed me that familiar Star Wars voice actors D. Bradley Baker, Matt Lanter, and Sam Witwer were recording something. Now this is very credible guys, because if you remember a few months ago, Matt Lanter, who voices Anakin in the Clone Wars, mentioned that he is going to be reprising the role in an upcoming unannounced Star Wars series, so he might be voicing Anakin in this upcoming show. They go on to say I couldn't pin down what they were recording for, whether another Bad Batch season or something else, so I just kind of let it sit and was hoping to get more information later. Thankfully that's come in the form of a pair of independent sources who tell me that Darth Maul will be the focus of a new animated series. And this is where we get some really interesting information. The show is going to be set before Solo: A Star Wars Story. They've even heard that Paul Bettany is expected to come back to voice Dryden Voss. So this is going to be really huge. As I say, I wish this was live action, but unfortunately it's not. Now I must say that it's not been confirmed by Lucasfilm just yet, but we could get an announcement on November 12th. Cinelinx are generally very reputable, so I would say it's likely. Until it's confirmed though, we have to keep our fingers crossed. But let me know your thoughts of this in the comments down below, and let's move on to the Bad Batch. Some new information has emerged, and it concerns Hunter. This was sent to me on Twitter, and to put it simply, Lucasfilm have confirmed that Hunter, despite his modifications, is still perceived physically as an exact Jango Fett replica, unlike the rest of Clone Force 99. In other words, if he came into live action, he would look exactly like Temuera Morrison and the rest of the unmodified clones, despite being a member of the Bad Batch. The other members have very clear physical differences, especially in terms of facial features, but Hunter on the other hand would be an exact Jango lookalike. This was confirmed by Pablo Hidalgo, and I know he's not very popular in the fandom, but it was also confirmed by the Hunter Sideshow collectible figure. Now you might be wondering why this is so important. Well, with Temuera Morrison reprising the role of Boba Fett, possibly Commander Cody in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and Rex in Ahsoka, again not confirmed, he might be called upon to play Hunter if for whatever reason Lucasfilm decide to bring the Bad Batch into live action. Now, to some of you this information was obvious, but it wasn't made too clear in the Bad Batch series. A couple of times it was hinted at, but this is the first time they've confirmed it. And now that we know he resembles the donor more or less precisely, there's no reason for them not to use him in a live action series, if of course he's still alive at that point. We've spoken briefly in the past about the subject of bringing the Bad Batch into live action, and what seems to be the general consensus is that Omega is the one member who has a live action future. Recently it was rumoured that Lucasfilm have a few undisclosed Star Wars projects in the works that have yet to be announced. I would not be surprised if Omega gets her own live action spin-off series, and this is something the Bad Batch Season 2 could set up. It would kind of be like an Ahsoka moment. She started off in animation and came into live action, where the second half of her story is going to be told. I would certainly be up for that, because she's one of the most fascinating characters the franchise has to offer right now. I truly believe that Omega and Grogu are the two characters that are going to lead the future of Star Wars. I wouldn't be surprised if Lucasfilm has big plans for them. So now, my dear friends, we're going to finish with something a little bit fun, a fan theory which I came across which really boggled my mind. I'd never thought of it before, but I want to share it with you. So the title of this article is "Forget Darth Jar Jar, Star Wars' most convincing fan theory may reveal a rebel spy." We're going back to the OT, so grab your beverage of preference and let's dive straight into it. A detailed Star Wars theory suggests that one evil admiral in The Empire Strikes Back was actually a secret rebel spy. Detailed by a Reddit user several years ago and reappearing in posts from time to time, the theory comes from the original Star Wars trilogy and has to do with a rebel having infiltrated the highest rank of Palpatine's Imperial Navy. In short, the theory poses that Admiral Ozzel, who commanded Darth Vader's flagship in The Empire Strikes Back, was secretly a rebel spy. The only other way to explain his actions in the film would be to say that he was utterly incompetent, and it doesn't make sense for such a high-ranking official to be so terrible at his job and disregard Vader's orders. It all started when the Empire sent out hundreds of probe droids to find the rebels following the destruction of the Death Star. Han and Chewie shot one of them down at the beginning of The Empire Strikes Back, but before they destroyed it, the droid sent a message back to the Empire of shield generators on the planet of Hoth, which alerted the Imperials to the position of the rebel base. Back on Vader's flagship, Captain Piet relayed the probe droid's report to Ozzel. "I think we've got something, sir. The visuals indicate life readings." Now that should have triggered an automatic investigation because Hoth was supposedly uninhabited, but Ozzel was intent on not following up on that lead and tried to brush it under the rug. Even when Vader decided to move in on the Hoth system, Ozzel again tried to deflect, saying that there are so many uncharted settlements. If Ozzel had been intent on obeying Vader and his hunt for Luke, he should have jumped when Vader gave his order to attack, but for some reason, all Ozzel wanted to do was avoid going to Hoth. That conversation was definitely suspicious, but as the theorist explains, Vader already suspected that Ozzel was a spy. So with the help of Captain Piet, he set a trap for the Admiral. They made sure to not show Ozzel the video of the probe droid being destroyed, and because of that, they knew that if Ozzel was a spy, he would have felt the obligation to warn the rebels of the incoming assault. Sure enough, he did just that, disregarding Vader's plan to approach the planet from a distance and commence aerial bombardment. Ozzel emerged from hyperspace too close to the planet, which alerted the rebels of the attack and allowed them to raise their shields. When General Veers informed Vader of Ozzel's tactical mistake, he said that Ozzel is as clumsy as he is stupid. That, however, was not an indication of Ozzel's incompetence. It was Vader confirming his suspicions that Ozzel was a traitor. Vader then proceeded to administer capital punishment by remotely force-choking Ozzel and promoting Piet to the rank of Admiral. I think it's a really sound theory, but what do you guys make of it, and what do you think of everything we spoke about in today's video? If you enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and a massive welcome if you are. And also, please be sure to check out my Patreon. The link is down there in the description, and you get exclusive access to videos that are not found here on YouTube. But otherwise, my dear friends, I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you are in the galaxy. May the Force be with you always, and I'll see you tomorrow.